World champions of baseball.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
Now entering the game for Philly Pressbox Radio, Bill Furman and Jim Chet Chesko.
It's Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. Welcome to the Philly Pressbox Radio Roundtable, brought to you by the Irish Rover Station House in Langhorne, PA, Cavs, Philly Tailgates, and the STT Sports Network. I'm Bill Furman. I'll be your host tonight, along with my partner, Jim Chet Chesko. Chet, this was a big week for you, attending the Philadelphia Sports Writers Hall of Fame banquet, followed by a road trip with your buddies to and from Green Bay, mixed in with a very interesting Eagles win. You got to talk beer and whiskey with our guests. I mean, we're going to cover it all. And we'll mix in our weekly picks. And if we have time, we'll talk Flyers and Sixers. That's not likely because we got a full load of Philly sports to talk about tonight.
Yeah, a big week, Bill, a fun week, a memorable week, but I got to tell you, it was also a tiring week. The Philly Sports Hall of Fame inductions last Thursday night, then the road trip that you mentioned out to Wisconsin that began Friday afternoon, didn't officially until I walked back in through my front door this morning at 9:05 this morning. So, yeah, it was something, but like I said, a little tiring.
Yeah, well, you ain't as young as you used to be, pal.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, hey, we have a great guest tonight in whiskey and beer expert Lew Bryson. We need to talk whiskey and beer, Chet, after some Nick Sirianni decisions Monday night.
Yeah, that we do. Lew is a great guy, by the way, and we had a fun pre-taped chat that I think you will enjoy, especially if you're a fan of whiskey or beer, but even if you're not, Lew is an entertaining guy. Bill, our viewers will also see and hear from a couple of new Philly Sports Hall of Famers, Clyde Simmons and Paul Holmgren, the Homer.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And I'm sure you'll talk about your little video that you put out as well for people to follow up on. That was a great job that you
thank you.
You put that out as well.
Absolutely.
Well, hey, let's get started. Let's get started with your trip to Green Bay and your take on the Eagles game. They left us plenty to talk about, that's for sure.
Well, I'll tell you more about the entire Green Bay experience in a bit, but first let's focus on, what happened on the field Monday night, the game. First, the positives, Bill, including the play of the Birds defense. They were good. Oh,
they were really good. Defensive line was fantastic, and Jordan Love didn't want any of that. He still hasn't set his feet. He didn't want any part of that defensive line, and they stayed on him. Defensive backs played well. Linebackers played well. The new addition played really well.
How about that guy, Jalen Phillips? 7 pressures, 6 tackles, 2 quarterback hits, a tackle for a loss, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. He had himself a debut.
He did. And you know what? It helps when you're lining up next to Jalen Carter, who played his tail off as well. You might not see it in the stat sheet. You never do because he gets blocked by 2 guys every play. But Jalen Carter was really good. Jordan Davis was really good. Jalix Hunt was really good. Brandon Graham was really good too. Jobo was good. So all the way across the front, they did a heck of a job.
Yeah, Nolan Smith back in action. That really was a plus. He did pick up a sack near the end of the first half. As you mentioned, Jalix Hunt, he had a sack as well. Moro Jomo, he is really coming on. You mentioned him. He's doing a great job as a defensive tackle, so that's good to see. And how about Nakobe Dean, Bill? Nakobe really had a fine game as well. Heard his name called a lot over the loudspeaker out at Lambeau Field. Let's see. He had 7 tackles, 6 of them solo. He also had a sack and a forced fumble. So a great night for Nakobe Dean, who's getting better and better now that he's, back and healthy.
Yeah, well, I like Dean, Bond, and Campbell on the field at the same time. Yeah. That's a pretty good look, and they can rotate those guys, or they can put them on the field together. They had Campbell playing some edge and running pass defense against receivers. He's a great athlete, young kid. Defensive backs played really well too. It looks like Adoree Jackson is the guy they want to pick on every week, but he held his own, and so did everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have to talk about the offense and what happened near the end of the game. But first of all, a positive there. How about that touchdown pass to Devontae Smith? That was great. That was the only touchdown the Eagles scored. And, of course, it helped provide that 10-7 Eagles victory. So that was very, very nice to see. Hurts made some nice throws, but he also, missed a few. He was a little behind a couple of the receivers. There were some questionable throws. And, Bill, the 4th and 6 with 33 seconds left, they decided to throw it. A lot of confusion, not confusion, a little controversy about who actually called that. Some people say it was not Nick Sirianni's call. It was maybe Hurts and A.J. Brown going a little rogue again, as they did a couple of years ago. Sirianni would not say that.
You know what? If you're punting the football, it doesn't matter, which is what you should have been doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Especially, I think the Packers had one timeout left. So with 33 seconds, you get a pooch punt, back them up inside the 10-yard line. Yeah. They're going to try to go, 60 yards minimum to set up a field goal with only one timeout and under a half minute left. But no.
Instead, you gave them the ball at the 40. You gave them the ball at the 40 with the one timeout. Now, let's back up a little bit to the 2:20 mark or whatever, when all they needed was one and possibly 2 first downs to win the game, and we threw the ball. There. We threw the ball a couple times, stopped the clock, gave them the timeouts, and gave them the ball back. They're inexplainable, actually. I mean, I still haven't been able to see the press conference, so I don't know how Sirianni tried to explain it. They're inexplicable. They're just against every rule of football.
Yeah, he basically said, I knew the play. But he didn't deny, that it wasn't his call. So I don't know. There's a lot of confusion, but that cannot happen. You should not be throwing the ball with 2.5 minutes left when you want to kill clock and preserve the victory. So, yeah, somebody's got some explaining to do, but we're not going to get those answers, I don't think.
Well, here's a thought. I've thought about this since Monday night because I was scratching my head like everybody else. You didn't get to hear the commentary. You're probably lucky for that from Buck and Aikman, but they kept preaching that the Eagles want to be physical. They want to dominate. They want to be physical. Blah 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 blah. Heard it all night long. I got thinking about that in the last day or so. It almost looked like the Eagles kind of got a little arrogant to me. Like, we can do what we want because you can't score on us anyway.
Yeah.
So we're going to just do what we do. And if you stop us, you can't score anyway. If that is the kind of attitude there is, that'll get you beat.
Yeah, that's a risky thing. I mean, you do like the cockiness to an extent, but you also got to be smart. And throwing the ball as often as they did over those final 3 minutes was not real smart. And it almost did cost them, maybe at least send it into overtime. If the Packers, completed one more short pass, they're going to have a shorter field goal than the 64-yarder that, went pretty much nowhere as time expired. So, yeah. I mean, the bottom line, they got the win. They're 7-2, but there, again, are concerns. There are concerns about the offense. There are concerns about some of the play calls. And Bill, late this afternoon, A.J. Brown did speak to Devin Caney and a couple other media folks, and he admitted that he is a little frustrated. He was having some fun, I guess, yesterday on Twitch with his friends, but he admitted that he's a little frustrated that he's not involved as much as he would like to be. So we still have to talk about that every week, it seems. Is it going to be a problem at some point? I don't know.
Well, and Sirianni responded to that, and he said he's just about done talking about this.
Are
we
going to talk about that again?
Yeah, he's trying to blow it off that it's nothing. But when you think about that game, Chet, Saquon had a couple nice 7-8 yard runs there at a point in the game. The offense made 3 plays all night. Two throws to Devontae Smith were huge, and the Saquon 41-yard, I believe it was,
reception.
Other than that, and then the first drive when they fumbled was a nice drive, but they didn't do anything at all to open up the offense. I was texting in the first half with my pal Kevin, and I said, this thing is being played so close to the vest. As I even said to him, 10 points is going to win this game.
Yeah.
And thinking, it was nothing at halftime, but it was just they were so conservative. And I think we know they can open this offense up. Mm-hmm. And are they waiting for a game like this coming Sunday against the Lions, who also play wide open? They're not going to play 10-3 against the Lions, 10-7. So is this the week they open it up like they did a few weeks back when they threw the ball all over the place for 300 yards? We know they can do it. It's almost like their game plan not to do it, like they're just waiting on something.
Well, we hope it is this week because, as you said, the Lions are going to score some points. So 10 points ain't going to do it. First scoreless first half in, 3 years in the NFL? Yeah. The first time the Eagles won a game with only 10 points in a lot of years. I forget how many, but it's been a while. So I don't see that happening again soon, especially this Sunday night when the Lions come to town. That's going to be a fun game. Hope the Eagles are ready. Hope the Eagles offense is ready.
Yeah. Well, and one other point about the game, Chet, I think it needs to be mentioned is Ojomo on defense on that last fourth down play, which ended up being a fumble, but he wasn't making the first down anyway. Jacobs wasn't making the first down anyway. Ojomo called the play. He knew exactly what they were going to do, whether it was formation, film watch, film study, whatever it was. He called the play. And the Eagles defense responded exactly to the play. And like I say, it turned out to be a fumble, which all looked good, but he wasn't making that first down anyway because there were Eagles all over the field. And great job by Ojomo in game preparation right there.
Yeah, bottom line, like I said, they got the win. They're 7-2, so on to the Lions. And let me just tell you, I did have a great time in Green Bay, Bill. Saturday afternoon through midday Tuesday, me and my pals were out there in the Green Bay area. It was a blast with a ton of brewery visits. Of course, you knew that was going to be part of the agenda. A Lambeau Field stadium tour on Sunday. Their giant Packers Pro Shop. My God, it's huge. And, of course, a fun pregame tailgate outside a sports bar, the D2 District Sports Bar, not far from the stadium. That was a blast. And that crazy Monday night game itself, for which it was, by the way, 34 degrees at kickoff and then 28 degrees by the time the game ended. Fortunately, no precipitation and no real wind, just a very slight breeze. I bundled in layers, so I was warm. I was okay. I survived. All in all, very well worth it, the trip to Green Bay. I crossed off an item on my bucket list, visiting Lambeau Field, and got to see an Eagles win, beating the Packers for the fourth straight time.
Hey, did it snow while you were out there before the game?
No, not right there. There was like lake effect snow above Green Bay and below Green Bay, but not at all in Green Bay. I mean, Indiana and the Chicago area got hit with snow. As we were driving back on Tuesday, there was lots of snow in Indiana off the sides, on the side of the road, but the roads themselves were thoroughly cleaned by then.
Yeah, Billy told me when they landed in from Berlin, there was 4 inches of snow on the ground in Indianapolis. So yeah, and if we were watching the Bears game, it was snowing in Chicago as well.
Yeah, quite a weekend.
Fun time. All right. Hey, Chet, did you know Philly Pressbox Radio is part of the STT Sports Network, as in Set the Trends? It's a network set up by our pal, Phil Stiefel, host of the terrific Trending in the AM show that you can find every weekday morning on the STT Sports Network YouTube channel. Check out Phil. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Phil's show is on there, and so is ours. Yep, you can find Philly Pressbox Radio there, in addition to our own YouTube channel and on our Facebook page. Again, it's the STT Sports Network, setting the trends for what sports talk should be.
Mm-hmm.
Chet, November. It's almost Thanksgiving. Holidays are going to start rolling in. What's going on at the Irish Rover Station House?
It is a fun fall at the Irish Rover Station House in Langhorne, PA. Terrific food, always 24 beers on tap. The Rover has trivia every Wednesday at 7. Killer Burger Thursdays, dinner specials Thursday through Sunday. Music most weekends. Oh, this Thursday, by the way, it is Crown Royal Night at the Rover. And then coming up on November 20th through the 23rd, it's the Rovers' annual Friendsgiving event. I love that they do that. And I will tell you now that the date for this year's annual Ugly Sweater Holiday Party is, drumroll, Thursday, December 18th at 7 p.m. Yeah, the Ugly Sweater Party. More on that in the weeks ahead, but it is one of my favorite events. If you haven't yet visited this place, check it out. The Irish Rover Station House is on Bellevue Avenue in Langhorne and on the web at irishroverstationhouse.com.
Hi, this is Angelo Cataldi. You are watching Philly Pressbox Radio starring Bill and Chet. And let me tell you something. These guys know their sports. These guys are the successor to what we did at WIP for many years. So don't miss it.
There you go. Hey, Edge. Hey, Denny says up here you still didn't get to see the replay on the fumble.
Didn't. They didn't show that replay.
The Josh Jacobs one?
The one where Hurts fumbled, I believe.
On the first drive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't.
I wonder why they didn't show that, because it was obviously a fumble.
Yeah. We sat between the goal line and the 3-yard line at the opposite end. And as it turned out, much of the play, the entire game was down the opposite end of the field. So we were looking to our left pretty much the whole game. And yeah, we couldn't see that clearly. And they didn't show the replay of the Hurts fumble.
Yeah, well, it was a fumble. He was going down and a punch came in right on the ball, knocked the ball loose. I'm surprised they didn't show it because it wasn't questionable and it was a play in their favor. That's for sure.
Yep.
All right, Chet, whiskey and beer. Might have been a good way to go after that Eagles game. You had a chance to visit with the expert himself, Lew Bryson, to talk about one of your favorite subjects, not whiskey.
No, I'm not a huge whiskey guy, but you know that I am a craft beer guy. Well, we talked about both of those important, tasty subjects, and it was quite a fun chat. As I said, Lew is a great guy, very knowledgeable about those subjects, certainly. So here is our chat. Hey, who needs a drink? We have just the guy who can give you some great advice on that front, whether it be beer or whiskey. He is a true expert on both. Let's welcome to the show, Lew Bryson. Great to see you, Lew.
Good to see you, Chet.
Hey, Lew, I became familiar with you, of course, from your co-hosting duties on What's Brewing with our pal Glenn Mack. Now, I know you know about beer, obviously. Love watching you guys every week on there. But you are perhaps even more knowledgeable, more of an expert about whiskey. How many books have you written about that tasty spirit over the last 30 years?
I have 3 books out on whiskey, Tasting Whiskey, Whiskey Masterclass. My new one just came out last month, American Whiskey Masterclass.
Yeah, that is that one right there. Nice looking book. We will talk.
It's a beauty.
Yeah, it is. We will talk quite a bit about that. Now, among other places, your new book, American Whiskey Masterclass, is available on Amazon, where it has a bunch of great reviews, all 5-star reviews, in fact, when I checked, which tells me you got a lot of great friends reviewing for you, or it is a really, really good book. Is this a book for the casual whiskey drinker or other true whiskey aficionados like yourself, or who?
Well, if I have a skill in writing, it is making the complicated ideas simpler, really bringing that across. In fact, I once had a distiller tell me that they were going to start using my description of my explanation of sour mash in their distillery tours, which that felt pretty good. So, yeah, I think just I don't know, what do you want to say? A casual whiskey drinker would enjoy the book.
All right, good deal. Well, my whiskey knowledge is very poor. When I visit my cousin, we'll often have a shot of Tullamore Dew. That's his favorite.
Oh, sure.
When I'm tailgating before an Eagles game, as I was recently, I did a shot of Fireball with the guys. You know, that's about it. So, Lew, give everyone a quick overview of the various types of whiskeys that are out there. I'm guessing you have some favorites also.
I do. Actually, Tullamore Dew is a really great, approachable whiskey. I always tell people that Irish whiskey is probably the easiest way into appreciating whiskey. It's not assertive. You will hear a lot of different descriptions of whiskey. You will never hear anyone saying about Irish whiskey, whoa, that's rough. That's a hot one. It just doesn't do that. So Irish is a great place to start. If you're going to be in American whiskey, if you want to start with a bourbon, what they call the weeded bourbons are great. Maker's Mark, Rebel, Larceny actually is another good one. These are whiskeys that are made with, well, a bourbon has to be 51% corn, but then you have another grain in there, which is usually rye, but that's a little spicier, a little hotter sometimes. These whiskeys, these bourbons add wheat as their second grain, and it's a lot more mellow. So that's a great place to start with those.
What is whiskey most commonly mixed with these days? Cola, ginger ale, or something else?
Those two are the pretty much the most common things. I mean, I've seen estimates that say as much as 75% of Jack Daniels is drunk with Coke. Yeah,
I believe it. Yeah, I as a young man, I would occasionally have a Jack and Coke. That was a popular drink, back in my day, and I guess it still is. What are some of your other favorites?
Well, I do like. I'm kind of the odd man out sometimes in pro whiskey circles. I actually like Canadian whiskey. I really like a Lot 40. That's an excellent Canadian whiskey. I do like Japanese when I can find it. Hakushu, 12-year-old, great whiskey. Oh, I'll tell you what, one that gets overlooked all the time. People know about Dickel, but there's a Dickel bottled in bond. That's a Tennessee whiskey. It's the other Tennessee whiskey than Jack Daniels. Yeah. Great whiskey and a really good price.
Well, Lou, I do know the answer to this, but for people who don't, why is whiskey mostly spelled with an EY at the end, but other times without the E?
It's just spelling. It's in the different countries. American and Irish whiskeys are usually spelled with an E. Scottish, Canadian, Japanese, usually without. It's just a word. It's like the British say aluminium. It's still the same metal.
Gotcha. Hey, so regarding the new book, anything else we should mention before we talk beer about this great new book?
Well, the thing I would mention is that I'm just going to say it again. It's a beautiful book. That cover even feels great. It's the nicest book that I've ever had published. I'm just really proud of that.
All right. And we'll talk about where to get it and all that later on. But as I mentioned at the top, Lou, I first became familiar with you from your work with this guy, Glenn Mack.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, you are not a big sports guy. So how did you end up meeting and working with Glenn Mack now?
Well, Glenn describes our partnership on the show as he's the color guy. I'm the play-by-play. I know beer. That's what I'm there for. I'm like a hired gun. He had originally been doing the show with Don Russell, Joe Sixpack, from the Philly Daily News. And when Joe and his wife retired, had moved to France, which, wow. Joe actually recommended me to him as a replacement and been working with him ever since. And, hats off if I had one to Don for that. Appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, you had one right there when I got to meet you a few weeks back. That was a lot of fun at Ship Bottom, which is a great place, by the way. Hey, that's in Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania has had some legendary breweries. I mean, Philly had Ortlieb's and Schmidt's. Pittsburgh is still home to Iron City. There's Rolling Rock and Latrobe, and of course, Pottsville is home to Yuengling, which is the area that I grew up in, by the way. America's oldest brewery. That's a lot of beer history, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually also written 4 books on Pennsylvania breweries.
Yep.
Don't buy them; they're out of date. Things change very quickly. But yeah, I've actually had a relationship with the Yuengling Brewery for, a long time. I think I first went up there and talked to the brewmaster in like 92, 93. Mm-hmm. It's the same family running it. Dick Yuengling Jr. has been running it for a long time. His daughters are taking over now. He has 4 daughters, and they're all working at the brewery. The Yuengling story has just been incredible. But there are other, like you said, there are other breweries in Pennsylvania with an equally interesting history. Straub up in northwestern Pennsylvania in St. Mary's, another family-owned brewery, years and years and years. Iron City, I was actually just at Iron City recently. They've rebuilt. Somebody else bought the place, built a gorgeous new brewery up the Allegheny River. They have a distillery on site, which is why I was really there. I mean, they're just doing amazing things. It's a great time to be in Pennsylvania and drinking beer.
I'm a big craft beer guy, and there are a lot of real good breweries in Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. You wrote books about breweries in both states, as you said, several years back, but it is a tough business. And I mean, we had the shocking news recently, I guess late September, that Iron Hill was suddenly closing all of its breweries. We're seeing fewer new craft breweries opening now, I think. What is the state of the craft industry, and what do you think the future holds?
Well, I think I try to take the long view here because, of course, that's something I can do because I've been at it a long time. When I first started writing about beer, there were under 2,000 breweries in the country, and that was up from a low of about 35 about 15 years before that. Now there are, I believe there's still over 9,000. So I look at that as a major win, and I don't see even 3,000 breweries closing. So I think we're going to weather this and come out the other side. What's the state of things? Changing, as it always is. Craft brewing has changed a lot just in the last 10 years. And I don't see that stopping anytime soon. It's just going to be a continual state of flux. It's not going away. I mean, we've lost a lot of distilleries actually already. Some of the new craft distillers are not closing. But again, don't see this as this is a correction. It's not a bubble popping. Everybody wants to, the fad's over. Well, first off, the fad lasted 30 years. So I don't think you can call that a fad. And a bubble would be a much faster decline. It's a correction. We already saw one of those in the mid-90s.
Well, you and Glenn get to talk about a variety of different beers, of course. Do you have a particular favorite style of beer?
I do. Actually, you could go back to that picture of you and I, and I'm wearing it on my head. Pilsner. There it is. Yeah.
You're a Pilsner guy.
I love a good, clean lager. Really do. And Pilsner kind of straddles that clean lager, IPA, Gulf by being a clean, sharply hopped lager. And I really love it. That's a human robot hat I'm wearing. And they are, wow. I mean, they are easily my favorite Eastern Pennsylvania brewery right now. Might be one of my favorite breweries, period. And my son lives 2 blocks away. Yeah.
Nice. Well, Lou, it is November, which means it's time to start drinking some holiday beers. Here's a few that I recall from past few years that I really like. We have Holiday Hef. Now, this is a real good Hefeweizen from Eight & Sand in South Jersey. I like that one a lot. Mm-hmm. Christmas in Hollis from Lansdale, Pennsylvania, Round Guys Brewing. That's nice one. Yeah, it's brown ale with cinnamon. And from Broken Goblet, they do this one every year. Fritz's Sticky Bun Stout typically arrives right around Black Friday each year. I love this thing, and I can't wait to get it again this year. What are some of your favorite holiday brews, Lou?
Wow. I just got a 6-pack of my absolute favorite yesterday, Sierra Nevada Celebration.
I remember you talking about that.
Wow. Cannot get enough of that beer. I've got a home bar. I had 2 sixtels of it on tap last year. We went through both of them. Bethlehem Brew Works, the Rude Elf's Reserve. Nice, big, spicy beer. Like that one. Of course, Troeg's Mad Elf. If I had a little more courage, I'd get a 6-still of that and throw it on, but I'm afraid I'd never leave the basement. Right? So that's a powerful beer. It's awfully tasty. I really like cherry in a beer, and it's got plenty.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I am a wheat beer Hefeweizen fan. I enjoy most lagers, and Pilsners. Mm-hmm. I'll mix in a porter or a stout now and again, but I am just not an IPA guy. Does that make me a bad person, Lou?
No, absolutely not. My brother-in-law's the same way. Loves beer. Not really a hop guy, but I mean, sours, stouts, all kinds of stuff otherwise, but no hops, please. No, that's not a problem at all.
There you go. Hey,
he also doesn't eat chicken, so.
Well, come on. That is un-American.
That's a little weird.
All right, let's get back to your book, Lou. This one here, American Whiskey Masterclass. You've got a book signing coming up in beautiful Gettysburg in early December. What's the scoop?
There is a fantastic little whiskey bar down there called Gary Owen Irish Pub. They've got to have the best selection of Irish whiskey in the state, but they also have a lot of other whiskeys. They've been down there doing this for a while, and I actually reached out. This is the kind of town Gettysburg is. I reached out to another place in town, and they're like, we don't really have the venue for that, let me get you in touch with the manager at Gary Owen. I'm like, this is great. I love guys like that.
Awesome. Yeah, so December 11th at Gary Owen in Gettysburg. Nice. Hey, this has been lots of fun, Lou, as I knew it would be. Once again, the book is American Whiskey Masterclass. Makes a great gift for any whiskey lover out there. Where can folks find the book, Lou?
It's online, of course, Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com, and it's in the Barnes & Noble brick and mortar stores. And, if it's not at your independent bookstore, which I love independent bookstores, ask them for it. They'll get it.
Lew Bryson, thank you again, and cheers.
Cheers.
Well, that was fun.
Wasn't that fun? I love that guy.
Hey, right up your alley. You got to talk beers. You got to talk football. And in just a little while, you're going to talk Hall of Fame banquet. But first, we're going to talk tailgating with the best tailgaters in Philadelphia, Bob Cavanaugh and the gang at Cavs Philly Tailgates.
Oh, you know how I feel about Cavs. And right now I'm going to try to find the picture to put up there because my thing was stuck. But there we go. Yeah, Cavs Philly Tailgates, cooking up their business for some 35 years now. You know them best for their tailgate parties. Cavs is a 3-time winner of Philly Tailgates, Jack Daniel's Great American Tailgate Party Contest, and a past winner of the Philly Daily News Tailgate Award. There is Cav. What a great guy. Of course, Cavs does host tailgate parties before all Eagles games outside the Linc. They have some upcoming games, of course, including before the Lions game this Sunday night, and then later this month when the Bears come to town. You can get details on all events that Cav does at Cav's website, phillytailgates.com. And if you do have any questions, just email them at cavscatering@verizon.net. Cavs Philly Tailgates is the way to go.
Hey, where did I see Cav again since the World Series? He was somewhere I didn't expect to see him. He had some picture. Dallas?
I don't know that I saw that, but yeah, Cav gets around.
Yeah, he was somewhere where I wasn't expecting him to show up, but good for Cav and great tailgating. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you had a chance to attend the Philly Sports Writers Hall of Fame banquet again this year, and it didn't disappoint except for the fact it disappointed me that I couldn't make it.
Yeah, I wish you could have made it. You had such a good time last year, but this was my 4th straight year covering that great event at Live Casino once again. Now, full disclosure, both you and I, Bill, have been voting members of the Philly Hall the past 2 or 3 years. Every year, the induction class consists of a wide range of players, other athletes, coaches, journalists, etc. Most of them from, not so many years ago, but also from several years ago, the distant past, such as the 1925 Darby Hilldale Negro League Baseball champions, who were indeed finally inducted last week, 100 years after they played. Now, one of the inductees, Bill, was one of my favorite former Eagles. You watched him, back in the late 80s and early 90s. He was a 2-time All-Pro defensive end back then, Clyde Simmons. And yeah, I did get to talk with Clyde for a couple of minutes before the induction ceremony. Talking with Clyde Simmons. Clyde, let me ask you, first of all, your career with the Eagles, great. What was it, 8 years among the sacks leaders? I think you're 4th all-time now. BG just passed you, I know. Yeah. How does that make you feel looking back on your career with the green and white?
I'm very fortunate to have a good career here. I mean, there's a lot of good players that come here. I'm fortunate to be number 4 because, there's a lot of players in this team over the years that could have easily been the top one. The greatest of all time is Reggie. And that's one of the things that we always strive for, is to be great and all this stuff, especially when we were playing as teammates, to beat.
Any favorite memories of playing for Buddy Ryan, Rich Kotite, Bud Carson?
Buddy, Rich, Bud. I had good memories, all the stuff. One thing I admired about Buddy so much is brutally honest, so you knew where you stood. Rich was the diplomat, he was always trying to be everybody, keep everybody in the same way, and Bud was just a lot like Buddy Ryan, brutally honest. And I love playing for both of them.
You still keep tabs on the current Eagles and watch their success?
Some, not as much as I used to. I still watch and all the stuff, watch the success they have when they have conflict. But when you're a family, you're not gonna always get along. And when you're a team, it's just like family. You're not gonna always get along. You're not gonna always agree. But they putting a good product out there, and they just got to keep on keeping on pressing and pressing, and realize that winning is what matters.
Last few years you've been coaching. You're now D-line coach for Bowling Green. How's that going for you?
Going well. You know, still trying to get these young men to understand the physicality, what you need to bring to the game every day. Just teach them the techniques and, you know, try and get them out there and let them go be who they are.
Last thing, you're being honored by the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame. You're already an Eagles Hall of Famer. Now you're a Philly Sports Hall of Famer. How's that make you feel?
I feel very privileged. You know, a lot of things when they come into the city. There's a lot of great athletes that came to the city. Living, playing, tons of different sports. To be honored as one of the guys that's a Hall of Famer in this city is a privilege.
You a fan of Clyde the Glide, Bill?
Well, how could you not be? Yeah, I mean, he was good. The gangrene defense was pretty good under Buddy Ryan, for sure.
Oh, Matt, I loved watching those guys, late 80s and early 90s. I think they were number 1 overall and against the rush and the pass in 1991. A shame they couldn't have any real playoff success during those years.
Yeah, and they had Randall Cunningham at quarterback. The only problem was Buddy Ryan didn't know how to spell offense.
Yeah, that is true. And then the 1 year Randall got hurt also. So, yeah, they just couldn't get it done in the playoffs, but oh well. Now, some folks may not know this, but the great hoops coach Gary Williams, best known for winning a title with the Maryland Terrapins in 2002, is a South Jersey native. And in his induction speech, he talked about, you know, when he was a young man, early teens, he loved going to the Palestra in the late 50s and early 1960s.
Well, you don't know how big that was back then. There was no TV. The Final Four was on delayed TV in the NCAA tournament. And to go and get a ticket to go to the Palestra to see a doubleheader, a City Series doubleheader, it was just an incredible experience. And that was a big part of my love for basketball.
What a good coach. Denny Malloy, a big fan of Coach Gary Williams.
And I'm a big fan of going to the Palestra. So
I know that.
I'm with Gary. That's for sure.
And by the way, Coach Williams looking pretty good at age 80. And Bill, you know who else still looks pretty good for an octogenarian? It's the coach. Yeah, I got to say hello to Dick Vermeil. He was there. And man, what a great guy. 89 years old, a few days before this event. Great to say hello once again to Coach Dick Vermeil.
Coaches eat well. Something's good. It's got to be in the genes.
Yeah,
because he's looking pretty good for almost 90 years old.
Yeah, he sure is. Well, one of the other inductees last week, a guy who spent a big chunk of his 69, nearly 70 years on this earth with the Flyers as a player, a coach, an assistant general manager, and GM, Paul Holmgren. And man, I love when I get to say hello to Homer because he is always just, very friendly and very, forthright, telling it like it is. So we had a nice chat before the event as well about his career, the current Flyers team, his induction, Bernie, and more. Here's that chat.
First of all, how are you liking the 25-26 edition of the Philadelphia Flyers with your old pal Rick Tocchet and, of course, Jonesy and Danny Briere running things?
Yeah, it's been exciting to watch so far. I mean, they're finally winning some shootouts. I remember Mr. Snyder for years saying we're the worst team in the league in shootouts, and we were. So we finally got a couple guys that can score some shootout goals. But, I think Rick and his coaching staff have done a tremendous job, and I really like the direction that Danny and Jonesy have the team going, and I think they're building, and like they say, brick by brick, but they're a lot better this year. And I think Rick, coming off of Tortorella last year, who put in place a tremendous work ethic with the team. Rick's ability to teach and get to these young guys even a little deeper is the key to this team so far this year for me. And so far they've gotten good goaltending from the new guy they brought in, Dan Vladar, and Sam Erson. So things are looking good.
And the new pickup, Trevor Zegras, has looked fantastic.
He's looked great, and he's a shootout, extraordinaire, I guess you could call him. But in his ability to make plays and hold on to the puck, and there's a lot of good pieces there, and just and I know over the next couple of years they're going to be adding more and more pieces to the mix. And so I really like the direction that, as I said, Jonesy and Danny have been going in.
So you played, I think, 8 years with the Flyers. You also coached. You were an executive. Which was toughest of those three? challenge us all.
No one's ever asked that question. Everybody asked, "What's your favorite?" And that's an easy one. That's playing. But
of course,
the hardest one was probably GM, just because there's the scope of the GM of the National Hockey League team is, it's not just a team. It's the scouting staff. It's your minor league team. It's all the employees that are working for the team. It's so there's a lot going on, and you still, the number one thing is for the team to win. So to put that all together, all in a pot, and mix it all up, and have a good, successful organization was a lot of work. And you just got to make sure you have good people working with you, and try to do the best you can.
And finally, you're being honored as an inductee, Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame. What does that mean to you?
Well, I'm going to try not to get emotional here, but when I got the call back in April about this, I did get very emotional on the phone call. It's still something that it's hard for me to believe. I've been here many times for teammates, and I never envisioned anything like this for myself. But it's truly an honor, and something I'll cherish for the rest of my life.
Hey, let me ask you one other thing while I have you.
Sure.
Bernie Perron. We lost Bernie Perron like a month and a half ago. Just an icon in Philadelphia. What did that guy mean to the organization and the city as a whole?
Well, obviously it's very sad that Bernie passed, but there's not a day that goes by that any of us, or anyone that crossed paths with Bernie can think about any experience that wasn't a positive experience. He was the most upbeat, outgoing person you could ever come across. He loved everyone. Everyone loved him, and that's just the way he was in life. And what you see is what you get. He always had a big smile. So it's hard I'm sad that he's gone, but when I think about him, I get a smile on my face.
I love talking to ex-hockey players. They're just so genuine, and Homer, no exception, Bill.
Yeah, I mean, all players, all sports, but the hockey guy is just a little different cut than everybody else. And, if you can make a guy like him come to tears, you've hit a pretty strong topic for sure.
Absolutely. So here is the list of all of the inductees this time around. As I said, it's, quite a variety of names from all different sports. Let me see. The new members include the 1985 NCAA Hoops champion Villanova Wildcats, former football great Mike Rozier, you know him, Bill, legendary basketball ref Mendy Rudolph. Who doesn't remember watching him back in the 70s when, we were in our formative years? And yes, Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie, who did an acceptance speech via video. It was quite a night, Bill. And as I mentioned in the 7 or 8 minute recap piece that I put out last Friday, there were a lot of other past inductees there, including a bunch of former Flyers like Bill Barber and Joe Watson and Brian Propp. So great to see those guys. Dick Vermeil, as I mentioned, the list goes on and on and on. Michael Barkan was there. Just a great night. Wish you could have been there, Bill.
Yeah, me too. Where did you post that? Let people know where you posted that video. It's about 8 minutes long. It's different than what you just showed, and I thought you did a really good job with that.
Yeah, if you go to the Philly Pressbox Radio YouTube channel, click on videos and you will see it. It should be right near the top. So it's Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame 2025 inductions recap or something to that effect. So yeah, please, if you're watching that right now on our Philly Pressbox YouTube channel, as soon as our show is over, you can watch that whole piece again. And while you're there, be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not yet a subscriber. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And Bill, you get there next year, darn it.
Yeah, I got to. Hey, Chet, it's time to make our weekly picks. I'm in a struggle, man. I'm in a struggle. How did Bob Vitrone Jr., you and I do in week 10?
We actually had a good week with the regular old pick, and we were all 4-1. We had slightly different picks. We each got one wrong. So, 4 out of 5. Not bad at all. For the season, the standings didn't change. Boop and I are tied at the top, 29-16. You remain just one game back, Bill.
Hey, just for the record, what game did you lose?
What game did I lose? I don't remember.
I believe you took the Green Bay Packers, if my memory.
No, I did not. I did not. I took the Eagles. I took the Eagles this time around. I did. Go back and watch the tape, Bill.
Video don't lie. We'll have to check that out.
Go check it out. I definitely took the Eagles.
All right. So we're 4-1. So let's get to this week. We clarify how we do this. We make these picks this year. We're picking the winner of 5 games every week with no point spreads. This week, we've added a 6th game, Chet, because the schedule is just too good to pass a couple games over. So always the NFC East games, always the Sunday night football game, and then we throw in those additionals to get to 5. This week, we're going to 6. So
yep.
Do you have Boop's picks in hand? You ready to roll?
I have them on my phone, and as usual, I have not looked at them, but I got them. I'm ready.
Okay. We got Washington versus Miami in Madrid, Spain, Sunday morning. Dolphins -2.5 after beating the brakes off of the Buffalo Bills.
All right. Let's see. Oh, that game is in Berlin, you said?
Madrid.
Okay. Well, I don't know if Boop knew that. It is nice when your team is hobbling and the weather is frightful, but you have a winter road game in South Florida. Come on, Boop, pay attention. Except when he got it. Except when they moved the damn game to Madrid. Boop's on top of things. Boop's pick is the Dolphins. Boy, I mean, I know the Dolphins just got to win, but they're not a good team. Washington's not a good team right now. I'm taking Miami as well.
I'm taking Washington. They both are not good, but we'll see. Got to take somebody. Miami isn't going to play like they beat Buffalo. I still ain't figured that one out.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Green Bay at the Giants, the Packers -7.5. Giants have a new football coach, Chet, and they got all kinds of injuries. I don't know what the latest is on Jackson Dart, but he got concussed on Sunday. I don't know if he will be playing or not.
I think I saw today that Jameis Winston will get the start.
Jameis Winston or Russell Wilson, they're the two back.
They said Winston, which is the surprise because I think Wilson had been the backup. So
Wilson did get in the game the other day, and he stunk it up.
Yeah, well, there you go. All right, Boop says Green Bay has a win, a loss, and a tie versus the NFC East this season. The only thing left is a forfeit. That's not going to happen. Boop is taking the Packers. Anybody with a brain takes the Packers. Bill?
Yeah, Packers.
There you go.
Thanks, pal. All right, Dallas at the Raiders. Monday Night Football. Cowboys -3.5.
The Boop says, hard to believe that these two storied franchises have never met in a Super Bowl. Maybe this season. Ha, 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 says Boop. Right. Boop's pick is the Dallas Cowboys. Much as it pains me, I got to take the Cowboys too, even though it's on the road and even though they are the Cowboys.
Yeah, I got to take the Cowboys. The Raiders just aren't very good.
Yep.
Okay, 2 add-on games, Chet, and these should be 2 really good ones. Seattle at the Rams. The Rams are -3.5. The talking heads are saying Seattle's the best team in the National Football League.
They have been one of the biggest surprises of the season so far, I think. You know, people thought they would be good, but certainly not this good. Boop says, a huge matchup at the top of the stretch in the battle to not be the best 5 seed in NFL postseason history. Boop's pick is the Seahawks. Boy, I thought about this one long and hard, but maybe not hard enough. I'm taking the Rams.
I'm taking the Seahawks. Until they are not playing good, they're playing good. Sam Darnold playing like an MVP, and that's crazy in its own self.
I just went with the home team.
There you go. Well, speaking of the home team, the Kansas City Chiefs go to the Denver Broncos. Kansas City -3.5 on the road.
All right, says Boop. Any chance Kansas City has at its 10th consecutive division title, only done twice in the 4 major leagues, starts at 4:25 Eastern Time Sunday. By the way, the others, Braves in the 1990s, early 2000s, the Patriots, and that's it. They're the only 2. Boop's pick is the Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs on the road as well.
I'm taking the Chiefs too, and I thought really long and hard about Denver. Denver's not getting any love, but they have been playing really good week in and week out. So, as we saw when they played the Eagles. But I'm going to roll with the Chiefs. I think they're getting better and getting healthier as we go. Which brings us to the Lions at the Eagles on Sunday Night Football. Eagles -2.5.
All right. Boop says, when you have a lead late in a game, the most important number is 40, as in seconds on the play clock, as in do everything you can to have it run down with the game clock. Why is that so hard to fathom? Boop is venting, and he's right. Boop's pick is the Eagles. You know what, Bill? We talked about it earlier. I think this is the game where the Eagles offense cranks it up again, just like they did against the Giants. This time it's against a better opponent. I think it's going to be a fun game on Sunday Night Football. I'm taking the Eagles in a shootout.
I am taking the Eagles as well.
All right.
Hey, one thing before we get to our margin of victory pool, Chet, just as a reminder for those that might not pay real close attention, the week after this, the Eagles play on Black Friday.
That's right.
At 3:00 at home.
Yeah.
Black Friday, the Flyers always played a Black Friday game.
Yeah.
Right?
The NFL rules, Bill. The NFL rules.
Has, whether they rule or not, they've tried to take over this slot.
Yeah.
So it's a 3:00 kickoff against the Bears on Black Friday. So I don't even know what network that's on. That might be on some obscure thing. Is that on
Prime? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I think it's Prime, but
maybe it's the Thursday night game and they're moving it to Friday and putting it on Prime.
Maybe
I don't know. But yeah, keep that in mind as you move forward if you haven't been paying that close attention to your schedule. All right, next up is our margin of victory pool. Chet, I don't know how it's possible to be in a margin of victory pool and lose every week.
Bill, you have lost 3 straight weeks. You didn't get any points the last 3 weeks. There's the standings. And look, you're at the bottom. You have an L, an L, an L in weeks 8, 9, and 10. So you're stuck at 81 points. Boop also took Carolina last week, which seemed like a good pick. Didn't work out for either of you. I took Indianapolis, and that game certainly went down to the wire. In fact, it went into overtime. I was watching the end of that game out at Lambeau Field in the Hall of Fame building. They had it on the big TVs there. So I saw Indianapolis win that one in overtime. I picked up a whopping 6 points for my efforts, but I'm still well behind Boop, who's at the top of the standings. And, Bill, I have a hunch that we're all going to have the same pick this week. Just a hunch.
Do you think? Well, let's get to it. Who does Boop have and who do you have?
We have the same. Boop and I both say the Patriots over the stinking New York Jets. You too?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to.
Yeah.
You had to.
New England over the Jets.
Heavy favorites. New England playing great ball with Drake May, the quarterback. Is that his name? My goodness.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I actually watched a good portion of the New England Tampa Bay game in Tampa, and New England took them to task. They played really well, and they're in the hunt in that AFC. That's for sure.
Bob thinks
all right.
Prime also. Yep.
Hopefully, we will do better next week. Bill needs to do better.
Yeah.
I'm not going to gain any points, but
nobody will. Nobody will.
I need a win.
Yep.
Hey, great guest tonight in Lew Bryson. First, Chet, we have a schedule change next week. And who's our guest coming to Philly Pressbox Radio?
The schedule change, this time it's your fault, not mine. You're going to be on the road doing something on Wednesday, going somewhere. So we are moving our show next week to Tuesday at 7 p.m. That is November 18th. Mark your calendar. Be there or be square. As for the guest, I have an invite out there. He hasn't gotten back to me yet today, so I can't announce the guest, but it is a guy talking football who's been on our show several times before. We'll see if he accepts our invitation. So there.
All right.
Bill, let's talk. I know it pains you, but let's talk a little Sixers. They got a big win last night over the Boston Celtics in town. They've played 3 times already this year. Each game has gone down to the wire. Each game 1 or 2 points at the very end. Sixers have won 2 out of 3. No Joel Embiid. He's got knee issues yet again, but they got some balanced scoring last night. Justin Edwards with a huge night. I think he had 22 points or something like that. Only missed 1 shot. So he was huge. Kelly Oubre, a big putback down the stretch. The game went back and forth, up 10, down 10. In the end, the Sixers did get a win. They are 7-4 and very much in the mix with a whole bunch of teams who are right around that same record. I'm liking watching this team, Bill, with or without Embiid in the lineup.
I like them better with Embiid not in the lineup, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Only
they're
because
faster.
They're right. They run the court, and they're not standing around watching near as much. But, you get him on the court. He plays his 22 minutes and scores 25 points. That's pretty impressive. But now he's missed the last couple games.
It is tough to watch him, though. He's just like really labors out there. And I think I mentioned this last week. He just doesn't have the lateral movement that he used to because of the knees. So, maybe a couple of games off will help him. But I mean, this is going to be a thing that's going to bother him the rest of his career. So you just got to figure out how to best utilize Joel Embiid. Meanwhile, Maxey's still having a great season. VJ Edgecombe has come down to earth a little bit. Other teams are now figuring out what he does well, and they're, limiting his effectiveness, still putting up, double figures every night, but not the 25, 28 pointers that he had early on. So they're still a work in progress. Paul George getting closer, they say, getting closer to actually taking the court. Do I care? Not a whole lot.
Well, I think the important thing about Paul George coming back is how are they going to evolve with him on the court?
Yeah.
If you have him and Embiid on the court, how do they look? If they have just George, how do they look? I think it's all going to be an evolution of how this team's going to come together or not.
Yep, sure is. Going to be interesting to watch, and long way to go. I mean, it's 11 games into an 82-game season, so like 1/8 of the way there. Long way to go, but I'm going to keep an eye on them. Flyers, Bill, I haven't seen what the Flyers have done much of late. How have they looked?
They're playing okay. They actually are playing right now. They had a 7 o'clock against Edmonton tonight at home. They're playing okay. They're not going crazy, but they're still playing pretty solid hockey. They're going to be all right. They're going to be in the hunt for that last two spots as it goes, if they can stay healthy, and they got to keep getting better. And Mitchkov has scored a couple goals of late. There's a lot of talk about how he is not doing a great job as a two-way player at this point. They're working on that with him, and he's only going to get better. They're only going to get better. And as Homer said, the goaltending has been pretty good.
Yeah, that's the key for sure. Hey, Bill, I know we hate to bring this up a lot, but we seem to have to. A tough week yet again on the Obits front. First, of course, we lost Cowboys edge rusher Marshawn Kneeland to a suicide. That was just heartbreaking, just a shame, a young guy. And then former NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue left us, and a couple of former NBA stars, Michael Ray Richardson and Hall of Famer, a great player and a longtime terrific coach, Lenny Wilkens. So a rough week, Bill.
3-time Hall of Famer Lenny Wilkens. How about that?
3.
Yep. He went in as a player, he went in as a coach, and he went in as an assistant coach of the Dream Team. Because the Dream Team was put in as a team.
Yes. So
which he was an assistant coach of that team. So he was inducted 3 different times. I didn't look this up, but I got to think that's rare air.
Yeah. And Bill, I got to ask you, will Penn State finally win a game this weekend?
Boy, they played their tails off last week.
Yeah, I didn't get to see it, but I did monitor the end. Oh man, just yet another.
I mean,
loss.
literally lost by this much.
Yeah.
I mean, it was that close. Tremendous catch by the Indiana kid. He darn near pulled that ball down off the crossbar.
Yeah,
and then managed to get his foot in bounds by a quarter inch. So,
yep.
Yeah, I mean, hoping they can play. They can get a win. They played well. Yeah. They actually played pretty well this week. The young quarterback really got a lot better in that game. And Penn State certainly played good enough to win. But
so Michigan State this weekend, then Nebraska, and then Rutgers.
Yeah.
So 3 potential wins, Bill.
3 games they can win, but they got to go play.
That's all we got, Bill.
Good job. Good job by the Penn State fans too. I'll say this, as rough as it's been, Penn State hasn't been home since James Franklin got let go, and they lost all those games until this week. And the Penn State fans came out and really hung with their guys, and the guys responded. It was good.
Yeah, good to see. Good to see.
All right. Anything else before we wrap?
Let's wrap it up.
All right. You're ready to go to bed, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm working my old job the next 2 mornings, and I got to be there sometime between 3 and 3 a.m. So it's bedtime.
There you go. Let's thank tonight's special guest, Lew Bryson. Our sponsors, the Irish Rover Station House, Cavs Philly Tailgates, and PPCC 118 Raz Room. For Jim, Chet, Chesko, this is Bill Furman. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll join Philly Press Box Radio next Tuesday, November 18th at 7 p.m. You can see us live on Facebook, on our Philly Press Box Radio YouTube channel, and on the STT Sports Network YouTube channel, and listen on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and all the others. High hopes, Philadelphia sports fans. Go Birds. Let's go Flyers. Let's go Sixers.
Let's do the song. Come on.